Hello and welcome to this week's show. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm your host Trey Winowitz and you're watching Right on the Money. Our goal for the show is to always equip you, the viewer, with accurate financial information so you can make educated decisions for both you and your family. Now we've got a great show lined up for you today, so thanks for watching. We're going to be tackling some difficult financial questions, and we want to take some things that could be somewhat complicated and make them simple and easy to understand. So come on in and have some fun with us today.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Trey Winowitz was forced to move himself and his family over 600 miles north and begin his financial planning practice again, from scratch. Since then, Winowitz Financial has become a national success story, establishing itself as a trusted source for financial advice in and around East Tennessee. In return, Trey gives back to the community by sponsoring monthly educational workshops and annual charity events. He also hosts a weekly radio show informing and entertaining those in need of financial advice. So, if you'd like to understand more about today's challenging financial environment, if you'd like to overcome your current financial situation, and want to learn from someone with a track record of overcoming, stay tuned for some trusted financial advice that's right on the money.
Now let's get to today's main topic, upgrading your financial strategies. When I first started in the business, I worked for a major Wall Street firm. There, I got some great training and gained some knowledge about the business. But now I'm in private practice and I've realized that how things actually work in life are a little bit different than what Wall Street wants you to believe. Now what I've learned in the last 12 years in business is that there are some strategies that Wall Street's conditioned investors just like you to believe. The problem is, in recent years, they aren't working the same in today's financial environment. It's kind of similar to when cell phones first came out. How many of you guys remember the first cell phone you had? Yep, I got one when I was in high school. I was very proud of it. But there was some advances in technology. And when new phones came out and were available, the consumer was able to do what? Upgrade their old phone to the new phone. The ultimate result for the consumer was what? More efficiency and more ease of use. Now, can you imagine trying to use one of those first phones to do everything your smartphone needs you to do today? Of course not. I mean, when it comes to cellular phones, I bet you couldn't even find one of those old cell phones lying around anywhere.
I've got one.
Are you serious? You really do a good job trying to mess me up. Well guys, like you can't expect this thing to do what a new smartphone can do, you can't exactly expect financial strategies of the 80s and 90s to continue to do what they did in the past either. But that's what many investors are using for today's retirement. I see it every day in the office. There are certain ways of investing that many of you learned over 30 years ago. And the sad part is, some of you are still using those same strategies in today's stock market. Unfortunately, these strategies are in need for an upgrade. Over the last 10 years, they've cost you as an investor a lot of money. You've got to get rid of them. And upgrade your financial strategies to give yourself a fighting chance. On today's show, we'll be looking hard at these common rules of thumb that Wall Street's taught us as investors. It might just be time for a financial upgrade for you. On today's show, we're going to cover, what has Wall Street conditioned you to believe in the past? Are those strategies still working today? Or is Wall Street the only ones making money on your strategy? We'll cover all those questions and more on today's show. Stay tuned for some more trusted advice that's right on the money.
Are you planning for retirement? Which path should you take? How can you avoid mistakes? What about a second opinion? Get sound advice for today's market. Make sure your future is secure. With Principal Protection, reasonable returns. Simplicity and safety. Call Winowitz Financial today to schedule your complimentary financial review at 865-691-2433.
And welcome back to Right on the Money. I'm Trey Winowitz, and today we're asking a very important question. Is it time to upgrade your financial strategies? If you haven't caught the whole show, please visit our website at treyw.tv, where you can catch up on what you might have missed. Also on the website, you'll have great access to our radio show archives and other special offers just for our viewing audience. Now, I want to explain to you something known as the principle of conditioning. This is the idea that if someone tells you something over and over during a significant period of time, despite, however, if it's true or not, you will begin to believe it. Now, here's a little experiment I'd like everyone to participate in. Now, let's look at this graphic of a stop sign and let's talk about how the principle of conditioning works. How many sides does a stop sign have?
8.
8. And what color is every stop sign that you'll ever see?
Red.
That's right, because it's a federal sign. And when you get to a stop sign, what are you supposed to do by law?
Stop.
All the way. And we've all been driving a while. We all know what yield signs look like as well, right? They're upside down triangles. How many sides does a yield sign have?
3.
Correct. And when you get to a yield sign, what are you supposed to do?
Slow down.
Slow down, use caution. A lot of times you even have to stop because a yield sign you don't have a right of way. Sometimes if you don't stop, someone's going to run into you because they have the right of way. And all together now, we all have been driving for a while. We know what color yield signs are, right? Yield signs are yellow.
Red.
Now, are they yellow or are they red? Well, actually, yield signs haven't been yellow since 1971. Just because you believe something to be true, does that make it true? Why is it that we believe certain things to be true with all our hearts when in actuality they're not? Well, unfortunately, conditioning can happen in the financial world as well. And there are a few philosophies that some of you have been conditioned to believe about investing that have been around for years. The problem is they're just not working as well today as they once did. So let's talk about these investment strategies we've heard from Wall Street over the last few decades, and then let's think about where they might have originated. They've taught us things like the market always outperforms everything, and if you're not in the market, you're going to miss out on the gains. They've said don't worry about the risk, everyone loses money sometimes, and that diversification equals safety. Well, these philosophies and platitudes were fine during the booming 80s. They all worked, and they worked well in that healthy, thriving economy. But unfortunately, in the year 2000, everything changed. On the heels of the biggest boom in market history, the cycle of the market turned once more, as it seems to have done every 16 to 18 years. The market cycles through periods of growth and periods of being stagnant, yet we find ourselves again in a flat market. Now, 1988 to 2012 was the end of one and the beginning of another. Have you been using some of those same rules of thumb from the 80s and over the last 15 years? How are they really working for you? One last thing to ask yourself, what do you need to do that will allow you to make new money without forcing you to keep recovering old money that you used to have? We're going to talk about that and more after the break. Stay tuned for some more trusted advice that's right on the money.
For the last few years, it's been harder to make a consistent return on your money. Are you paying too many fees? Could you get cheaper life insurance rates? Could you pay less taxes? Join the hundreds of others that have dramatically saved money using a free fee analysis. That means you've got to make sure your money is working efficiently for you. Call Winowitz Financial today, 691-2433. That's 691-2433, and start saving money today.
We're so glad you're back, and if you've missed part of the show, be sure to check out treyw.tv so you can catch up on any information that we covered in the first part of today's show. But so far, we've covered what Wall Street's conditioned you to believe in the past, where some of those ideas came from, and let me ask you something else. Are those strategies still working today, or is Wall Street the only one making money on those strategies? Where did your beliefs really come from? In 1982 to 2000, when the market was up 1,000%, Was that when you started following the stock market and investing? Did these philosophies work then? But are they really working now? What I want you viewers to take away from today's show is that as times change, so should your planning strategies. They have to change and adjust. Just like the cell phone in the computer world, as soon as you think you have the best thing, there's always something better out there. It's my opinion that we're in a financial environment that's not working the same as it did 10 or 12 years ago. And as an investor, you need to know what you're dealing with and use strategies that give you the best chances to succeed in an ever-changing financial environment. Think about this. What if you could have avoided the 2 big stock market corrections in the last 12 years? How much more money would you have? A smart investor realizes that success in today's market isn't about picking the highest potential return investment anymore. It's about consistency, predictability, and avoiding losses. In a sideways market, big losses can hurt you worse than minor gains might help you. You have to ask yourself, are you really diversified? Or has your broker simply spread out your money in a lot of the same stuff? Do you feel like you've really been making money? Or do you feel like you're spending all your time recouping old money that you used to have? Does the person you're working with ever tell you, hey, now's a good time to sell? Or why don't we take some winnings off the table? Or when you talk about a different idea, do they try to just change your mind? The bottom line is this. Here are some possible solutions for you today. What about redefining what diversification means to you? Then ask yourself, does it mean the same thing to you as it does to your broker? Make sure that you have some of your assets in a place that you can't lose money during the next market correction. That may mean considering moving it from where it is to a more protected place. Then take advantage of a second opinion to make sure your money's doing exactly what you want it to do, and not just what your broker wants it to do. Have you ever wondered if you could get more objective advice from an independent advisor? I think so. At Winowitz Financial, we can help you position some of your money in strategies that will protect you during the next market correction. I'll help you get a reasonable return that's consistent with a certain portion of your money, and an overall plan that's simple and easy to understand. If that's what you want, please give me a call at the office and schedule a no-obligation financial review. Coming up next, learn how people just like you have benefited from that no-obligation second opinion. Don't miss our Money Matters segment. You might hear about somebody that you know.
I don't know about you, but what's been going on in the U.S. economy, and especially Europe, scares me. There are too many things that we can't control affecting our investments. We have to do our best to educate ourselves about the best options out there to protect our nest eggs. The best way to do that is to call Winowitz Financial and reserve a seat at their next free educational workshop. There's usually a waiting list for these, so call today to reserve your seat. 691-2433. That's 691-2433.
Now that we're back, I'd like to tell you about some real-life folks that you may can relate to, because it never hurts to have an extra pair of objective eyes take a look at your situation and see what can be improved. Even if strategies that you're using can't be improved on, sometimes people say it's a huge comfort when I tell them that what they're doing is working well, or maybe they should continue on the same path. However, in some cases we discover that some of the products or strategies they thought worked in a certain way actually don't. And sometimes not getting a second opinion can be very costly. If you want to be a part of this Money Matters segment, please give us a call at the office for a complimentary review. As you'll see, everything's kept confidential, but your situation may help some of our other viewers secure their financial future. So give me a call and maybe your case will get picked for the show. I want to take a second to introduce you to some people who came into the office recently for a no-obligation second opinion just to be sure. And these people were glad that they did. So let's take a look at this week's case. Hey, Jana, can you bring me my notes? Thanks. All right. Our case study this week involves a 56-year-old nurse and a 59-year-old sales manager, both from Maryville, Tennessee. These folks came in after attending one of our financial seminars and educational events. Their main concerns were the cost of insurance. They weren't really sure if they were overpaying for their life insurance. They also weren't sure if they were going to be able to retire on the timeline that they were looking at. And also they wanted to add some guarantees, a little concerned about the uncertainty, a lot of the volatile things that were going on in the economy. So those were their main concerns for our visit. The steps to success. For these folks, we did what we do a lot of times. Being independent, we shopped their life insurance with a whole bunch of different A-rated carriers. Then we reviewed their current 401k plans, their contributions, the investment objectives, and all the different investment types as well. And then we analyzed their other accounts. They had a few Roth IRA accounts, one each, and also some traditional IRAs that they had been contributing to over the years. The results that we came up with for this couple was, after shopping, we found some 15-year guaranteed level term insurance that saved them about $30 a month. So for the next 15 years, they're going to save $30 a month, and they can now use that to contribute a little bit more to their 401k plans and achieve that company match. Then we also enrolled them in a 401k monitoring program. This is where we have a professional manager that will take a look at your 401k individually and give you recommendations on where you should invest the funds, when to put the money in or take the money out. So that was a very big help for them. Lastly, we compared some annuities that they had been shopping for. We found some that were no cost, and they had some guaranteed income accounts on them. So bottom line is, at the end of their retirement years, when they start collecting Social Security, with these guarantees, they're able to achieve about $10,000 extra every year of tax-free income from their Roth IRAs. Give us a call today for a complimentary review, and if your scenario gets picked for the show, you're going to receive a Right on the Money prize pack. But most of all, we want to help you. Coming up next, another opportunity for you to be a part of the show. Post it on our Facebook, tweet us, or email us your financial questions, and stick around for the viewer mail section.
Are you looking to recruit and retain great employees? Would you like to reduce your retirement plan cost? Now you can offer employees the opportunity to keep their retirement funds protected and growing. Separate yourself from your competition. Make a difference in the retirement of your employees with little to no additional cost to you and no change to your TPA, payroll, or existing 401k company. Call Winowitz Financial today to find out more about this exciting new product.
Are you planning for retirement? Which path should you take? How can you avoid mistakes? What about a second opinion? Get sound advice for today's market. Make sure your future is secure. With principal protection, reasonable returns, simplicity and safety, call Winowitz Financial today to schedule your complimentary financial review at 865-691-2433.
Welcome back to Right on the Money. I'm your host, Trey Winowitz, and it's time for you, the viewer, to be an integral part of this show, Viewer Mail. This is the part of the show where you send us your questions about anything financial. In order to get your questions to me, you can post them on our Facebook page, tweet your question to me at TreyWTV, or email them to me at advice@TreyWTV. If your question happens to get answered for the show, you'll receive a Right on the Money prize pack just for your willingness to help out our other viewers. This package has a retail value of over $50, so please don't stop sending us those questions. Our first viewer mail question today is, we are looking to refinance our home since interest rates are low. Should we refinance from a 30-year to a 15 or a 20-year? You know, I've gotten that question a number of times this week in the office. There are a lot of factors that go into an accurate answer to that question, but interest rates are still extremely low, historically speaking. Until I can learn a little bit more about your situation, my guess and my answer is maybe. We may be able to find a little bit more efficient way to have the house paid off in 15 years, if that's your goal. For our Right on the Money viewers, we have an in-house mortgage broker to help us work through all of these specific questions. Give us a call and we'll set up a time for you to sit down with Chris at Executive Lending Group, and we can always work through this with you. We'll put our heads together. You might be surprised at what we can come up with. So keep those questions coming. Thanks a lot. And our next question is, I have some extra money. Should I pay off my mortgage first or start investing in my 401k? That's a great question, but let me ask you another question first. Does your 401k have a good match? If it does, I would try to make sure you invested in that first and took advantage of that extra money. After that, then if you want to sit down with a qualified professional, see what other options are out there, if it makes sense to pay off your mortgage, the answer to that question should always fit into your overall financial needs and goals. The last question we have time for today is this. What is a real estate trust, and are they a good idea? Like any investment, some investments may not be suitable for certain people. REITs in general have qualifications on investors based on net worth, income, and liquidity, mainly because of 2008 when the real estate market dramatically crashed. Some of the companies had to suspend some of their distributions based on the real estate values. Now, while some have attractive dividends, they also have attractive commissions for some of the brokers. Now, when appropriate, we use some of these for our clients, but out of all of them that I've looked for, there's only about 2 or 3 that I would personally recommend. The other thing that we do is if we purchase them, we buy them on a commission-waived basis for our clients. In my opinion, this would be better for you. Be happy to sit down with you to see if this type of an investment would work for you. Just give us a call at the office and we can look at it on an individual basis. Stick around after this short break for Right on the Street. See what some local people just like you think about the stock market and other financial topics. You may actually see someone that you know.
Are you looking to recruit and retain great employees? Would you like to reduce your retirement plan cost? Now you can offer employees the opportunity to keep their retirement funds protected and growing. Separate yourself from your competition. Make a difference in the retirement of your employees with little to no additional cost to you and no change to your TPA, payroll, or existing 401k company. Call Winowitz Financial today to find out more about this exciting new product.
I don't know about you, but what's been going on in the U.S. economy, and especially Europe, scares me. There are too many things that we can't control affecting our investments. We have to do our best to educate ourselves about the best options out there to protect our nest eggs. The best way to do that is to call Winowitz Financial and reserve a seat at their next free educational workshop. There's usually a waiting list for these, so call today to reserve your seat. 691-2433. That's 691-2433.
And we're back. This is Right on the Money, and I'm Trey Winowitz. See what some local people just like you think about the stock market and other financial topics. You may actually see someone that you know. If someone's using a buy and hold strategy, when should they actually sell?
They should go to their financial advisor and ask them.
Okay. As far as just financial advice, do you use a financial advisor?
I married one.
Concerning financial planning,
Yes.
do you feel like it's difficult to get a grasp on things? Do you think there's enough education out there as far as for the consumers regarding financial planning?
There probably is, but it's confusing to know where to look, what sources are reliable, and what you can actually trust.
If you're using a stockbroker, when do you think your stockbroker would tell you to get out of the market?
Well,
I want a financial advisor who stays on top of things.
Okay. Do you use a broker or an advisor?
We do.
Okay. What do they make, or how do they make money?
That's a good question.
Okay. Do you have any idea how much money they make off of your
Just
account?
follow me. I do not. I won't
Okay.
get you
Would
lost.
you like to be one of my clients?
That could be a possibility.
Okay. As far as your brokerage account and stuff, are you paying any fees, or do you know what the fees are that you pay on your investments in your brokerage accounts?
Sometimes it's hard to find those fees.
I agree.
Yeah, we pay fees and we don't know how much they are.
Okay. Would you like to sign up to be one of my clients then? Financial planning, okay, in general, do you feel like that's kind of a complicated thing, or do you feel like it could be simple?
Person says, just hang on, just hang on, just hang on, and doesn't go systematically through things with you and explain things, just says, trust me. I don't want that kind of a financial advisor.
What about fishing? Do you like to fish?
I like to fish.
What do you like to fish for? Can I borrow $20?
What do you need it for?
Anything. Lunch?
Not a good answer.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Last question, can I borrow $20?
Sure, anytime.
Okay. Hey man, thanks a bunch. And can I borrow $20?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're back. This is Right on the Money, and I'm Trey Winowitz. We're just getting ready to wrap up the show, but before we go, I'd like to tell you about an old Louisiana tradition called lagniappe. Lagniappe means to give someone a little something extra. And the way that we want to do that here at Right on the Money is to brighten your day at the end of our show. So with that, here's a little lagniappe for you. Now for all of you out there who are married, were married, or maybe you wish you were married, this is something to smile about the next time you see a bottle of wine. Sally was driving home from her business trip from northern Arizona. She saw an elderly Navajo woman walking on the side of the road. The trip had been long and a quiet one, so Sally decided to stop the car. Then she asked the Navajo woman if she'd like a ride. With a silent nod of thanks, the woman got into the car. Sally resumed the journey, trying in vain to make a bit of small talk with the Navajo woman. The old woman just sat silently, looking intently at everything she saw. Studying every little detail, she noticed a brown bag in the seat next to Sally. "What's in the bag?" asked the old woman. Sally looked down at the brown bag and said, "Oh, it's a bottle of wine. I got it for my husband." The Navajo woman was silent for another moment or two, and then speaking with quiet wisdom of an elder, she said, "Good trade." And that, my friends, is a little lagniappe for today. I want to personally thank you for watching our show today. I hope you found our show helpful as well as a little bit entertaining. If there's anything at all I can help you with financially, please don't hesitate to call our office. And remember, any plan that we come up with will always have three main goals for your money. Safety first, or protection of your principal, is always number one. Making a reasonable return on your money in what some would consider an unreasonable market. And number three, keeping your plans simple and easy to understand. If that sounds like something you want, I know I can help you. Also, please keep the financial questions coming. We'll do our best to get them answered on the show. I'll see you next week at 3 o'clock for more trusted advice that's right on the money.